What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. LeBron is definitely upset with the Lakers. LeBron's agents, LeBron's team is definitely upset with the Lakers for not going through with the John Wall trade for Russell Westbrook. And, you could read this in Yahoo Reports, Yahoo Sports about this issue there, because there definitely need to be some changes. I can remember after the game that they lost, and LeBron said he's going to go home and have some wine and hopefully be better tomorrow. Look forward to better things the next day or something like that. Not quoting him verbatim, but that's predominantly what he said. And of course, there was changes that need to be made and that they wanted to be made, but they just weren't able to get a deal to go through. And that's not exactly what LeBron James was looking for. And, I don't know what he really thinks of Russ. I think he likes Russ personally, but winning championships and liking somebody is two different things. And LeBron is not going to be able to experience that, I don't believe, with Russell Westbrook a part of the roster. And I believe he didn't figure that out himself by now. And I believe he understands that. And now that he understands that, he knows that now it's even more detrimental because now they're missing AD for a while. So that takes away from their defense, the little bit of defense they do have. And on top of that, when you look at it from a standpoint of, how can they really be better when they're just an up and down team and they have no defense and they have no structure. And, it's really sad to see the Lakers like this, because the Lakers have always been a staple, a team that you expect to be good, especially when they're at their best, when they have superstar players the way they have now. And it's just really weird to see them have these superstar players and not play to the potential that you feel like they should play if you're a part of Lakers Nation, but it's very common now. It's very becoming now because it's what you've seen for a while, and you're definitely used to it. And that's just the sad part. You got to get used to losing, as a part of your ways, because that's exactly what the Lakers are now. They're just not a good team. And it doesn't matter how much LeBron, tries to put up these points, but it really doesn't matter. And when you look at the Lakers, at the same time, you have to understand how much mentally is LeBron there too. A lot of people might not be talking about that because, it's all this talk about him going back to Cleveland, or he might not be staying. He's not 100% sure. And then he's waiting for Bronny Jr. to come into the league so he could play on the same team with him. And it's like, it's so much talk around the Lakers right now. I can't even see how they can even be looked at as a championship team because it's too much distraction. If it's not Anthony Davis getting hurt, it's LeBron, whether he's returning or not. Or it's about Russell Westbrook being the problem to the Lakers, the reason why they can't win. It's just too much. You have three superstars and three different situations that, or three different storylines that are thrust upon this team, and they just can't overcome that. It's just too much, especially if it's from your three top players. It just doesn't gel. It just doesn't work. And usually it just results in a lost season. For the Lakers' sake, they just gotta hope and pray that they figure out a way to, manage the season. I think they're definitely a play-in tournament team this season. That's pretty much where they're going to be. That's pretty much where they are. And I don't really see them, going any higher than that. It's possible they could, but more likely they're a play-in tournament team. And if they do make the playoffs or slide to one of those upper seeds, they're still going to have to play a team like Memphis, the Warriors or the Suns in the first round, which is a bad matchup for them because any young team just seems to run all around them because they're too old on defense and they can't play defense. And they have a bunch of players on there that's never been known to play defense, so like Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, players like that. And they got a few players on there that have played defense back in the day, but Avery Bradley's a lot older. Trevor Ariza's a lot older. They just have a bunch of pieces that really don't, that can't can't do much. Now, the Austin Reeves, that young player, he's pretty good, but I mean, he's not as good as Caruso to me. Caruso was the player they should have kept because I feel like he fit them a lot more. Even though Austin Reeves can play pretty good, but I don't think he's going to be a big reason why they win anything in the playoffs because he's just too young. He can't do but so much. And, when you look at that in its entirety, I just asked myself how interested is LeBron in this team? Is he very interested, or is he just playing to be playing, keeping his stats up and going, doing whatever he can? And, how engaged is he, with all this distraction and Russell Westbrook and him not being, wanting to stay in LA and Anthony Davis just being hurt once again? It's just a question. These are the questions that you have if you're a Lakers fan, because these are the questions that surrounding the team. And these are type things that's holding this team back from being the team that they should be, which is a whole lot better team, much better team in regards to, understanding what it takes to win. You would think the Lakers would just be a whole lot better than what they are, but they're not, because, like I said, it's too much finger pointing. And, now it's to the point where trades were wanted, trades were warranted in LeBron James' mind, and nothing happened. So it really makes everything, much more difficult now. And if LeBron James definitely wanted, that John Wall trade to go through, then, I mean, I don't know, does that change his mentality about the team and how he plays the rest of the season? Who knows? I mean, a lot goes into that. You know what I'm saying? You never know. And with that being said, if that did happen, I personally didn't think that trade would really make any sense anyway. I mean, I don't think John Wall for Russell Westbrook is really a good trade. I mean, they're almost like the same player. One is more popular than the other one, but both of them turn the ball over. And, to me, regardless of what anybody says, Russell Westbrook is a way better player than John Wall. That's just my opinion. I'll take Russell Westbrook over John Wall if I had to, but really, it doesn't really make no difference because neither one of them is going to help you win a championship, I don't believe, because neither one of them are winning caliber type players. They're just really, really high usage players. And one is a superstar and the other one was an all-star. But at the same time, neither one of them have winning intangibles. So, like I said, me personally, I mean, you can pick your poison. One is not going to make life but so much better. And I don't really understand why LeBron or anybody on his team thought that John Wall could make them any better than what they are, because he's just really not that type of player. He's really not built like that. And he's really not looked at like that to me. So, when you look at it from that standpoint, it's just one of those things that, to me, the Lakers probably did fine just by leaving the roster the way it is and just kind of work out the kinks and work out what you have and kind of just go through the motions of the season and kind of see where it goes. Because even if they would have brought John Wall on, I mean, you still got to get him used to the roster, the players and everything like that. And then one thing about John Wall too, injury history. I mean, he barely plays, the last several years, he hasn't played many games at all. So his injury history needs to be taken account of too. So, I mean, it's probably a good thing that they did keep Russell Westbrook, because he is one of the most healthy players in the league this year. I mean, I think he's only missed one game all season. So, I mean, when you look at that in its entirety, that says a lot too. Your best ability is availability. So, you can't do but so much if you're not on the court. And that's a question with John Wall. Not too much of a question at all with Russell Westbrook. So, when you look at it from that standpoint, maybe Lakers, did the best thing by not pulling the trigger on John Wall and just kind of holding back and waiting. But it definitely doesn't sit well with LeBron and his camp. So we'll see how that benefits or hurts the team going forward, going into this offseason, to see what happens for next season, if they're not able to win the championship or, not able to do much in the playoffs. But hey, that's my take on everything, though. You leave any comments in the comment section as always. And hey, Khaliis out.